Kanu Sharda has been getting us the latest of what's really emerged from the Supreme Court as well. The Supreme Court, while they're not going to be directly monitoring the investigation, Kanu, have also essentially sort of followed from the Delhi police. An affidavit will be filed in about 1 week from now, if I'm not wrong, by the Delhi police in this case.
Yes, the Supreme Court has made it categorically clear that it's not going to monitor the investigation, but yes, they have sought a reply in a form of an affidavit by the Delhi police before it on next Friday when it's going to hear the matter again. And the affidavit will also analyze the threat perception which was raised by the wrestlers. That, since it's, a minor is involved, a threat to her life and her family is involved. So DCP rank officials from the Delhi police will analyze the threat perception and file a detailed affidavit before the Supreme Court before the next Friday, when the hearing would now take place. But as of today, the FIR is going to be registered. This is what the Delhi police have told the top court.
Okay, so we will of course see what happens, whether the Delhi police does go ahead and register that FIR. It will be important to also go through the details of the charges filed against Brij Bhushan Singh, because if you look at the complaint by the wrestlers, there's also a minor who's filed a complaint of sexual harassment against Brij Bhushan. If you keep that in mind, the POCSO has to be slapped against him, a non-bailable offence. It will mean his immediate arrest. So if the Delhi cops actually follow the law on this and ensure systematically action is taken, which they haven't done for the last many months, mind you, you will actually see Brij Bhushan finally being taken into custody. And after that, the formal investigation, which is the need of the hour. The wrestlers have been demanding exactly this. So there is a possibility that today, once the Delhi police actually goes ahead and follows up on the action they promised in the Supreme Court, which is that they filed that FIR, then you could see the wrestlers who've been out at Jantar Mantar in the national capital for 6 days now, finally calling off their agitation. But they will want concrete promises, concrete action taken on the ground. Let me take this across to Nitin Srivastava. He's back with us live from Jantar Mantar. Nitin, you've had a chance to speak to some of the wrestlers. If that FIR is filed today, is there a possibility of them calling off the agitation?
Akshita, see, they are very clear on this thing that they actually wanted, first thing they wanted that an FIR should be registered, and the other thing that they are demanding is an arrest of Brij Bhushan Singh. So they have achieved first level of their demand, but I don't think that they are going to move from here till the time Brij Bhushan Singh is not arrested. I'll just try and go back to the athletes and ask them that how exactly they are looking at this order of Supreme Court. Are they going to move, or they are going to sit here till the time Brij Bhushan Singh is not arrested by police?
Well, ideally, if you look at how things are supposed to play out, once the FIR is filed, the wrestlers' demand for action for the arrest of Brij Bhushan is warranted, considering the charges against him. But will the Delhi police actually do that is a big question mark. Remember, in the last hearing in the Supreme Court, the Delhi cops had said that we're conducting a preliminary investigation and then we'll file that FIR. So far, they refused to file the FIR, to register an FIR and then investigate. Now they've had to buckle on that because of the kind of pressure that's been built up courtesy these wrestlers, and also because of the kind of support that finally poured in for them, which many would say should have been there from day one. And Nitin, that exactly is the point. The pressure that's built up right now on the Delhi police has prompted them to finally say, we'll file that FIR. You had so many reactions that came in today finally, where sporting heroes stood up, took a stand for these wrestlers.
Well, I think pressure is just not mounting on Delhi police, but also on Brij Bhushan Singh. See, he lives here. He lives. I think just 100 meters away from this protest site, and I tried and get a reaction from Brij Bhushan Singh, but his office told me that there will be no reaction from his side. But wrestlers are very clear. That is what I'm saying from day one, and athletes are also mentioning in each and every tic-tacs or interviews. One thing was register an FIR, which is completed. They have achieved one level. But now they're expecting arresting of Brij Bhushan Singh, and that is what they are going to declare or announce in the press conference shortly. Akshita.
Okay, so the press conference at Jantar Mantar expected any moment now, and Nitin will be getting us those latest updates. Nitin also telling us that the wrestlers perhaps will give us clarity on whether they plan to continue with the agitation or whether finally after 6 days today they'll be able to get up, pack their bags and head back home, focus on their training as should be the case. But all of that will depend on how really the Delhi police handles this case. Kanu, with the Supreme Court directly intervening now, there's obviously a lot of pressure on the Delhi police. But can they actually get away with filing an FIR but not taking Brij Bhushan into custody? Or will they have to? It's mandated that they have to arrest him immediately considering POCSO comes in.
Well, Akshata, the preliminary investigation has been done already by the Delhi police in this case. This was categorically mentioned earlier this week from the Delhi police before the Supreme Court that there are preliminary inquiry which needs to be done. So it is only after the inquiry this suggestion of filing an FIR, the statement from the Delhi police has come that the FIR will be lodged. So the next step would obviously, in the case where the POCSO and the sexual harassment charges are involved, is the arrest of the accused. So like I said earlier also, things will be little difficult for Bhushan Sharan from here on.